Hey everyone, and welcome back. We're doing a deep dive today on something you sent our way.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it looks really interesting. It's the October 2024 new home sales report for Singapore.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, you're really looking to understand what's driving the market right now, and I think this report has a lot to tell us.
Sounds good.
The big headline is new home sales were up.
Up.
Yeah, way up. 84% in October compared to September.
Wow.
Yeah. That's huge, right?
It is massive.
So that's what we're going to unpack today. Why is this happening?
Well,
what does it mean?
Yeah.
So let's jump right in.
Okay.
The report highlights two new launches that were really the superstars of October.
Okay.
Norwood Grand and Meyer Blue.
Interesting.
These two projects alone accounted for over half of all the new home sales for the month.
Wow. More than half.
So Norwood Grand sold 292 units.
Okay.
It's near the Woodlands South MRT station. And then Meyer Blue is a freehold development.
Okay.
It moved 124 units in the rest of Central Region. So I'm curious from your perspective, what made these projects such standouts?
Well, I think you hit the nail on the head when you mentioned location. Location is always key, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Especially in a place like Singapore.
Absolutely.
For Norwood Grand being so close to an MRT station, I mean, that's a huge draw
Yeah,
for commuters. I mean, it just makes life so much easier.
for sure.
And we're really seeing this trend of people wanting to live in places with really seamless connectivity.
Right, in a transportation hub.
Exactly.
Makes total sense. People want convenience.
Yeah.
So then what about Meyer Blue?
Okay.
Is it just the freehold status?
Freehold definitely plays a big role.
Yeah,
Owning the land outright instead of having a 99-year lease.
right.
I mean, it's really appealing to both investors and homeowners who are looking for long-term value.
Right.
But I think it's also important to consider the location.
Yeah.
Meyer Blue is in the rest of Central Region.
Right.
And that area is becoming increasingly popular, especially among families who want to be close to the city center, but they also want, a little bit more space.
Yeah.
A quieter environment.
Right. More of a neighborhood feel.
Exactly.
So it's really a combination of things.
It is.
Location, that freehold status,
Yeah.
lifestyle preferences.
It all comes together.
It's interesting the report uses this phrase, well-timed launches with attractive offerings. What do you think that tells us about how developers are approaching this market?
I think it shows that they're being very strategic. They're really paying attention to market trends.
Right.
And then trying to design and launch projects that actually meet what buyers are looking for.
They're doing their homework.
Yeah, and interest rates have eased up a bit recently.
Right.
And you can feel buyer confidence returning. So it's really the perfect time to be launching new projects.
Yeah, it seems like they're hitting the mark with what people want.
They are.
Convenient locations,
Yeah.
access to good schools, amenities.
For sure.
But Norwood Grand and Meyer Blue weren't the only successes in October, right?
No, not at all.
Other developments also saw some impressive sales numbers, like Pine Tree Hill, Hillock Green,
Okay.
Lentor Mansion, and Tembusu Grand.
I see.
And those are kind of spread out, right?
They are.
So Pine Tree Hill, that one's in the outside Central Region.
Right.
Hillock Green, Lentor Mansion. Those are all in the rest of Central Region.
Yeah.
Tembusu Grand, that's in the core region.
Okay.
And what's really interesting is that we're seeing strong sales across all those different regions.
It's true.
It's not just limited to one specific area.
Yeah.
It seems like there's this broad-based demand for new homes.
Absolutely.
And a lot of it is coming from Singaporean citizens.
Yeah.
The report says that Singaporeans made up over 88%
Wow.
of the buyers in October.
That's a really healthy sign
Yeah.
for the market, right?
Yeah, it points to a lot of local confidence
Definitely.
in the market.
Yeah, people are feeling optimistic about the future.
Right.
And they're investing in property. It's a way to secure their own little piece of it.
Right.
And even with the additional buyer's stamp duty, the H+D,
Right.
we are seeing a little uptick in purchases by permanent residents
Okay.
and foreigners.
Interesting.
So that's something to keep an eye on,
Yeah, for sure.
that foreign buyer activity.
Yeah. What's drawing them in?
Yeah.
I mean, Singapore has this reputation as a stable and secure place to invest.
Right.
Maybe it's that.
It could be.
Maybe it's just the allure of owning property
Yeah.
in this really vibrant global city.
It's probably a mix of all those things.
Probably.
But yeah, it raises some interesting questions.
Yeah.
How will that increased foreign buyer activity affect the market in the future?
Right.
Definitely something to watch
For sure.
as we look at the bigger picture of Singapore's property market.
Absolutely.
Yeah. It's amazing, isn't it? Just how all these like individual projects and then these bigger market trends all kind of come together.
Yeah.
You know, it's like a puzzle.
Yeah, it really is like all these different pieces, location, buyer demographics, all these things kind of fit together.
Exactly.
To create this like bigger picture of what's going on.
Exactly. And speaking of the bigger picture, let's kind of zoom out for a sec.
Okay.
And talk about like what this all means for, the listener.
Right.
You're clearly interested in the Singapore property market.
Yeah.
Maybe even thinking about buying a new home.
Yeah, definitely.
So let's say you are thinking about buying a new home.
Okay.
What are some of the key takeaways from all this?
Yeah. What should people be thinking about?
Well, first off, location.
Yeah, we keep coming back to that.
Right. It's so important.
Right.
Projects near MRT stations, good schools, amenities.
Right.
Those are the ones that are really in high demand.
Yeah, it makes sense.
So when you're looking at potential properties, really think about your lifestyle.
It's your daily commute, your family's needs, and prioritize a location that really fits with all of that.
Practical stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And we talked about freehold versus leasehold.
Right.
It sounds like freehold properties are...
Yeah, those are popular.
Yeah, they're very sought after.
Yeah.
Can you remind me why that is?
Yeah, so freehold means you own the land outright.
Okay.
So you're not leasing it from the government.
Right.
With leasehold, you're basically leasing the land for a set period of time.
Okay.
Usually it's like 99 years in Singapore.
I see.
Leasehold can be a bit cheaper up front, but freehold gives you that like sense of complete ownership.
Yeah.
And there's the potential for it to appreciate more over time.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, so you really got to weigh your options.
Yeah.
Think about your investment goals.
Right.
How long you plan to own the property.
It's all about finding the right fit for
Exactly.
your own situation.
Right.
There's no one right answer.
Yeah, no one size fits all.
So let's talk about this surge in new launches.
All right.
6 new projects coming in November.
Wow.
What does all this new inventory mean for buyers?
Well, it's kind of a double-edged sword.
How so?
On the one hand, more choices are great, right?
Yeah.
More properties to choose from.
Right.
Maybe something that fits your budget better.
Right, variety.
Exactly. But on the other hand, more supply could lead to more competition,
Okay.
which could push prices up.
So it's like a balancing act.
It is.
Yeah.
It's really important to stay informed.
Okay.
Pay attention to the market.
Right.
Really look into any new launches that you're interested in. Do your research.
Yeah.
Be ready to act fast.
Right.
If you find something you like.
Because it might not be there tomorrow.
Exactly.
So knowledge is power.
Oh, absolutely.
Especially in a market like this.
The more you understand how things work,
Right.
the better decisions you can make.
Yeah, you can really make informed choices.
Exactly.
That's good.
Yeah.
Okay, so as we wrap up this part of our deep dive, I want to leave the listener with something to think about.
You.
We've talked about how location developer strategy, buyer demand, economic conditions, even government policies, all these things
Right.
affect Singapore's property market.
Yeah, it's complex.
It's a very complex picture.
Yeah.
So what strategies can buyers use to really stay ahead of the curve?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
I think the key is to be adaptable and informed.
Okay.
The market is always changing.
Yeah. Never stands still.
Exactly. So if you're too rigid,
Right.
sticking to one plan, you might miss out on opportunities.
Right.
So be flexible.
Okay.
Be willing to change your plans as needed.
Right.
And of course, stay up to date on what's happening in the market.
Read those reports.
Exactly.
Talk to experts.
Yeah, all of that.
So it's not just about having a plan, but having a plan that can adapt.
Exactly.
I like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So informed decision-making.
Right.
Adaptability.
Yeah.
Those are your guiding principles for navigating the Singapore property market.
Sounds good. I like it.
Okay, cool.
So we've covered a lot of ground in this part.
We have.
We've looked at those October sales numbers,
Okay.
talked about the factors that are driving this market.
Right.
Even done a little bit of future gazing.
A little crystal ball action.
Yeah, but we still need to delve into some potential scenarios
Okay.
for the Singapore property market, in the coming months and years.
Right.
That's where things get really interesting.
Yeah, that's the exciting part.
All right, so let's shift gears a bit.
Right.
Put on our future casting hats.
Yeah.
We've talked about the current state of the market, all those impressive October sales,
Right.
what's driving demand, all that. But what about the future? What lies ahead?
Well, that's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it's where things get even more interesting.
Okay.
You're analyzing potential future scenarios.
Yeah.
It's not about like predicting the future with perfect accuracy.
It's more about like informed speculation, looking at different possibilities.
Right. It's about identifying potential pathways.
Okay.
Thinking about the factors that could influence those pathways, and then helping you, the listener, think through what might be coming down the road.
Okay, so let's play that out a little bit.
All right.
Let's say this strong sales momentum that we're seeing now continues into 2025 and beyond.
Okay.
What could happen?
Well, if demand keeps outpacing supply, like it is now, I think we're likely to see upward pressure on prices.
Right.
I mean, we're already seeing median prices creeping up in some areas.
It's basic economics.
Right.
More demand than supply equals higher prices.
Exactly. But remember, it's not just about supply and demand within the property market itself.
Right.
There are all these external factors at play.
You're talking about the broader economy, right?
Yeah. Things like interest rates.
Interest rates,
Exactly. If those start rising more sharply than expected.
Okay.
That could really cool things down, make buyers a little more hesitant.
Right.
And potentially slow down that price growth.
So affordability becomes more of a concern.
Exactly. People start to think twice.
Right. If those monthly mortgage payments get too high.
Right. It just doesn't make sense anymore.
Right.
So the property market, it's not this isolated thing.
Right.
It's really connected to everything else that's going on.
Both globally and locally.
Yeah, absolutely.
And what about the government's role in all of this?
Yes, the government.
They've stepped in before, right?
Oh, yeah, many times.
To try to cool things down when the market's gotten too hot.
Exactly. They want to make sure housing stays affordable, prevent those speculative bubbles.
Right.
So if they start to see things getting out of hand, don't be surprised if they introduce some new cooling measures.
Like what kind of measures are we talking about?
Oh, yeah, things like loan-to-value ratios, stamp duties.
Right, ways to make it a little bit harder.
Yeah, and to borrow money for a property.
Right, or to make it more expensive to buy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that can have a big impact on the market.
So many moving pieces.
It is a complex landscape.
It is.
Yeah.
What's the most important takeaway for our listener?
Well, I think the biggest thing is don't rush into a purchase just because everyone else is buying.
Right.
Don't let the hype or emotion get the better of you.
Level-headed approach.
Exactly. Take your time, do your research. Really look into the specific developments that you're interested in.
Okay.
And make sure any decision you make aligns with your financial situation and your long-term goals.
Don't get in over your head.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's easy to get caught up in the excitement.
Right.
But a calm, rational approach is really key.
So be informed.
Yes.
Be realistic.
And remember, things can change quickly in this market.
Okay.
So be adaptable. Be open to adjusting your plans if needed. And don't be afraid to seek out expert advice.
Right.
Talk to a professional.
Yeah, exactly. They can help you navigate all the complexities.
So it's not just about having a plan A.
Right.
It's about having a plan B and a plan C.
Exactly. Be prepared to pivot.
I like that.
Yeah.
Okay, so informed decision-making, adaptability,
yes,
a willingness to adjust course.
And never lose sight of the long game.
What do you mean by that?
Well, whether you're buying a home to live in or as an investment property, it's a long-term game.
Right.
It's not about trying to time the market perfectly.
Okay.
It's about making solid decisions based on good research and a clear understanding of your own goals.
I love that so informed decision-making, adaptability, long-term perspective.
Those are your guiding principles.
Perfect.
All right.
Well, we've reached the end of our deep dive.
We have.
We've covered a lot of ground.
A lot of ground.
Analyzed those amazing October sales figures.
Yeah.
Explored all the factors that are shaping Singapore's property market.
And even taken a peek into the future.
Try to.
Yeah. It's a fascinating market.
It really is.
And as it keeps evolving, there's always going to be more to learn and discuss.
Definitely.
So stay curious, stay informed, and until next time, happy investing.
See you later.